Hello and welcome to Flipped Maths with Mrs. De Hoog. Today our topic is the cluster division strategy, and we're learning to use this strategy or method to solve division problems. Now remember to stop, rewind and re-watch the video if you need to. And make sure that you record the learning goal on your homework sheet as well, please. So make sure you pause the video now. Just to remember some important information. When you split a number into equal parts, that is the definition of division. That's what division is, when you split a number into equal parts. Just remembering. Going to look at an example story here. It says that 5 people bought 195 marbles together. So they went to the shops and bought them together. 195. How many marbles do they each get if they share them equally among themselves? So I'm just going to use that problem solving table. There we go. So just taking some notes down, there was a total of 195 marbles, and there were 5 people. And then the final question that this one is asking is how many do they each get? How many do they get each? How many marbles do they get each? It's really important to think about the final question, because there's a lot of information here, all in this these two sentences. And it's just good to remember, well, what is it asking? It's asking, well, how many marbles do they get each? And there's 5 people. So to solve this problem, I'm going to show you how to use the cluster division method. It's pretty much the same or similar to the cluster multiplication strategy, in that you basically break the number up. So we're going to break up 195. We're going to break it up into 100 and 90 and 5. And once we've broken this number up into these smaller parts, we can then try and divide these smaller parts by 5, because that's the question. I'll just write it here. That's what we're trying to work out, 195, because that's how many marbles there are in total, divided by, so share it equally among 5 people, and we want to know how many do they get each. So what is the answer? So we're going to just basically chord it down. So 100 divided by 5, because we're just doing 100 divided by 5 here, and then 90 divided by 5, and the 9 comes from this bit here, and then we've just got 5 divided by 5, which is the last digit in 195. We're just dividing the smaller bits to make it easier for us. So just have a think about the answers to these ones here, just for a moment. Alright, now to work out 100 divided by 5, you could just count in 5s all the way to 100 if you like. So you could go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's 10 fingers so far. 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. That's another 10 fingers. So all up, that was 20 fingers. So that would be the answer. Or you might even have that as a known fact, that 100 divided by 5 is 20, because 20 times 5 is 100. Lots of different ways to remember that. And then we've got 90 divided by 5. With that one there, we could also count in 5s until we got to 90. That's another division strategy of working it out. So you could go 5, 10, or really actually, you could know that it's 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 90 is just 2 lots of 5 less than 100, because it's 10 less than 100. So that would be 18. Something to think about. And then 5 divided by 5 is 1, because if I had 5 lollies and I gave them to 5 people, they each get 1 each. So that's just a way of explaining that simply add these ones up. So we go 20 plus 18 plus 1, so 8 plus 1 is 9, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. So the answer is 39. So how many marbles do they each get? Well, they get 39 marbles each. Lucky people. So to check, we could just go, well, what's 39 times 5? And use this method here. So 5 times 9, I could actually just use the one that we learned in a previous video, that 9 times 5 is 45. So 9 times 5, and then I could just do 30 times 5, because the 3 is worth 30 and it's in the tens column, and the 9 is in the ones as well as the 5. Just reminding. So 30 times 5, I know that 3 times 5 is 15, and then I have to have the 0 here because I'm multiplying it by 30, so we've got that 0 at the end that just goes there. And then we just add them up, so that we add 5 plus 0 is 5, 4 plus 5 is 9, 1 plus nothing is 1. And that equals 195, which in fact is the number up here, so that is correct. Because 39 times 5 is 195. You can go backwards on that one to check. So we've checked, and we're right. So now I would like you to have a go at using this strategy of breaking up the number that you're dividing by, so 195 in this case, into the smaller parts, and then dividing them by the number that you're dividing the whole number by, and then adding them up at the end. So do have a go, please, and here are some examples, or here are some questions to practice with. So we've got 78 divided by 2, 36 divided by 3, 123 divided by 3, and number 4 is a question. It's got a story happening. It says a bakery sold 660 donuts. Woo, that's a lot of donuts. To 6 people. If they each bought the same number of donuts, how many donuts did each person buy? So this question is saying there's 660 donuts were sold to 6 people. They each bought the same amount. How many did they buy each? And we will discuss the answers in class. So thank you so much for listening to and watching this video. That was about the cluster division strategy.